Bizarre stories from the subscribers. Hello Leo Augusto, how are you? My son watches your channel, I'm Francisca. Joe is 10 years old and I was always asking him to go wash the dishes after eating, right? I think it's a pretty simple task, right? But he was always making up an excuse. He said there was a bug in the sink drain that he was scared and didn't want to go. I thought it was just a kid being lazy, something different. Like a kid trying to get out of chores. So I insisted anyway, go on João, wash those dishes properly, I said, trying to put some order in the situation, but the boy did everything poorly, washed in a hurry, left the plates still dirty, with food stuck on them, the cutlery barely scrubbed, it didn't even look like he'd been near the sink. I'd look at that and get angry. What a sloppy job, João. Until one day, I got tired of it. Told him that if he didn't do it right, there would be punishment. If you keep up this behavior, you're going to face the consequences, okay? I warned him, thinking that a little firmness would solve it. He would grumble, make a face, but he would go. But one night, I told him to do the dishes again. He went, but this time with eyes full of tears. I didn't understand why he acted that way. What a drama from this boy. It's just doing the dishes, kid. I stayed in the living room listening to the sound of water on the plates until suddenly a horrible scream came from the kitchen. My heart froze. I ran there as fast as I could. When I arrived, I saw João holding his arm, crying loudly and... Where's his hand? It's gone. The blood was running on the floor and he was screaming. It was the drain monster, Mom. It ate my hand. I was paralyzed, unable to believe what I was seeing. What monster, João? There's no monster at all. I answered, trying to stay calm, but inside I was in chaos. I looked at the sink drain, wondering if the house had some kind of food grinding system that I didn't know about, but it didn't make sense. It was just an ordinary old sink. Did he make all of this up? Or was there really something there? To this day, I don't know. But that scream and that scene won't leave my mind, and I feel responsible for what happened to my son. João, didn't you hurt yourself with the knife? I don't see anything in the drain or sink. Of course not, Mom. Let me ask you a question. Where's my hand? Wasn't it supposed to be there? Fallen? What he said is true. How did this happen? I opened the bottom part to check the plumbing and didn't find anything. Just the destroyed plumbing. The other day, I called the plumber and he just thought it was strange that there were tears in the plastic. As if something sharp had gone through there. Hi, I'm Guinho and I'm going to tell you about something that happened to me and my partner Catraca. On a night I'll never forget, we were playing on a dirt road close to the city cemetery. The sky was already getting dark, you know? The sun was slowly setting and night was quietly coming in. We kept kicking a ball back and forth for a long time, just having fun. Then suddenly we heard a weird sound coming from inside the cemetery. It was like a hoarse, muffled voice. It sounded like someone asking for help, man. My heart started racing right away. We got really scared. What is this, Catraca? Could someone be lost in there? The cemetery was surrounded by really tall walls. And on top there were shards of glass, the kind that nobody could climb over without getting caught up. But we looked ahead and saw that the gate was still open. Curiosity got the best of us and we went to check it out. We went in slowly, our hearts pounding. We looked all around and saw nothing. We spent about 10 minutes wandering around in there, from tombstone to tombstone, trying to see who was talking, you know? Who made that noise? It was totally silent. All we could hear was the sound of our footsteps on the dry ground. Let's get out of here because it's going to be dark soon. Hey, what's up, man? Why are you so scared? You're with me. And being with me means you're with God. Not long ago, you were scared out of your mind, man. I'm getting out of here. That's when we saw her. A girl standing near the gate, man. She was pretty, with her hair down. And a look that seemed to see right through us. What's a girl like that doing in a rundown place like this? Maybe she came to visit a relative? Maybe to bring some flowers or something like that. But something about her gave me a weird chill, man. Suddenly she turned to Katraka and started talking to him. She spoke softly with a calm, almost hypnotic voice. I couldn't really hear what she was saying, but I saw Katraka laughing like he'd forgotten all about being scared. Me, on the other hand, I just wanted to get out of there. Man, I think we better get out of here, dude. Let's go. The vibe here is really weird. And relax, Gooey. She's just asking something. Chill out, man. I didn't want to know. I turned around and started walking toward the gate. As soon as I stepped outside, the gate's net slammed shut like thunder. I glanced back, but the turnstile and girl had vanished. Within seconds, everything turned strange. An absurd silence. I had a bad feeling, but I ran home without looking back again. The next day, Katraka didn't show up. No word from him on the street or phone. I got worried, but I thought he'd show up later. Until his grandmother, Dona Zefa, showed up at my house with tears in her eyes, asking if I had seen her grandson. My stomach dropped. The last time I saw Katraka was yesterday at the cemetery, Dona Zefa. He was with me and a girl we met there. After that, I left and he stayed. Dona Zefa looked at me like I was saying something crazy. So you were together? Then the strange woman showed up and you left your best friend alone with her. Possibly an organ thief or a kidnapper. I called him, but he didn't want to come, ma'am. She ran out saying she was going to look for him. But I already knew something was wrong. I spent the whole day thinking about it with a lump in my throat, man. Who was that girl? And that gate slamming out of nowhere. The silence, everyone disappearing. I went to the cemetery again just to be sure. But everything was locked up as if no one was there. Days turned into weeks and Katraka never showed up again. His grandmother still walks around looking for her grandson. But nobody really believes my story. They say I made it up, that it was dark and I saw things that weren't there. But I know what I saw. That girl, she wasn't normal. And sometimes when I walk near that cemetery, I swear, I hear my friend's voice calling for help. In other words, that mysterious girl using his voice to lure me into some kind of trap. Man, I just released number 2 of Cartoon Cat vs. Siren Head. That fight is still going on, my friends. And we have many other titles at Leo's store. They're on WhatsApp. Add this number, man, and I'll send you the full list of all Leo's comics, alright? And if you want to send a story to appear in this segment here, just send it to this email, inscritosleo@gmail.com, alright?